Hello everyone. Welcome back to Binu's English journey. Today's lesson is about one of the most useful words in English, would. Many English learners know the word would, but they are often confused about when and how to use it. They ask questions like, what does would mean? When should I use would? What is the difference between will and would? Why do native speakers use would so often, very often? So don't worry, by the end of this lesson, you will understand would clearly, easily, and effortlessly. We will learn what would means, the different uses of would, easy grammar rules, plenty of daily life examples, common mistakes we make with would, and a quick revision at the end we will have. So let's begin. Actually, what is would? Would, we can say, just let us try to understand. Would is a modal auxiliary verb. Just let it be the technical words, everything. It does not have its own meaning. It works together with the main verb. Examples: I would go. She would help. They would come. Notice something important. Here, structure is subject plus would plus base verb. So, after would, only base verb. That is a key thing we need to understand. So, correct version, I would go. She would eat like that. But I would went. She would eat. It's this way we cannot use. Okay, that is a main thing. So, how we can use would in our daily conversation? This is what we are going to understand. First usage of would in the past, future in the past. Sometimes someone talked about the future from a past point of view, right? For example, he said, I would call you later. Yesterday, I thought it would rain. She knew he would arrive soon. Here, would shows the future scene from the past. We are seeing future from the past. So we use would. The second usage of would is very common. It's for polite requests. This is one of the most common uses. Would makes a sentence polite. How? For example, we can say, open the door. Will you open the door? Would you open the door? These three ways we can ask, but the last one sounds much more polite. Another examples. Would you help me? Would you please sit here? Would you mind closing the window? Would you tell me your name? Like that, politely we are asking. So, would makes our English more polite and humble. Makes sense, right? The another usage of would is polite offers. For example, would you like some tea? Would you like some coffee? Would you like to join us? Would you like another piece of cake? This is the way, especially native speakers, English speakers usually offer something politely. They use would very often. The another very important usage of would is for preferences, our wish, our wants. Here we use would rather. So no need, there is no room for confusion. Just to use would rather. I would rather stay home. I would rather drink tea. She would rather read books. We can also say, I would rather sleep than watch TV. He would rather travel by train than by bus. That means we prefer to sleep than watching TV. That is the meaning. Or we prefer r- traveling by train than by bus. That's the meaning. Would rather. For preference, we use would. The another usage we can see very often in English, spoken English, which is for imaginary situations, we use would. Imaginary situations we often use would when talking about unreal or imaginary situations, we can use would. For example, if I were rich, I would buy a big house. If I had more time, I would learn Spanish. If I were a bird, I would fly around the world. Actually, these things are imaginary things. It's not real, right? We are not birds, but we imagine if we were birds, or if I were a bird. We are imagining, visualizing. So these kind of unreal or imaginary situations we use would. That's wonderful. The next usage for giving advice. For example, if I were you, I would study harder. If I were you, I would apologize. If I were you, I would save more money. These kind of expressions are very common in English. If I were you, after that would, base form of the verb, we can use. The another usage of would is habits in the past. Very commonly we use. Would can describe repeated actions in the past. Instead of used to, we use would. For example, when I was a child, I would play outside every evening. My grandfather would tell us stories. Every Sunday, we would visit our grandparents. This use talks about repeated past action, not in the present or in future, only in the past. Repeated past actions. If we need to express repeated past actions, we can use would. Next usage of would is willingness or unwilling. If we willing or unwilling something, we can use. For example, he wouldn't help me. She wouldn't listen. The car wouldn't start. The baby wouldn't sleep. Here, wouldn't means refused something or was unwilling. That is the meaning. Then another usage, probability or guessing something. For example, that would be John's car. We are guessing that. We are not sure, we are guessing. This would explain the problem. That would make sense. Like that, probability or guessing, we say with the word would. The next one is conditional. In conditional sentences, we use would. This is one of the biggest uses in English. If you understand how how can use this, your English uh, will be polished. So structure is, it's a conditional sentence. That's why structure must be if, must be included if clause, right? So if plus past tense would plus base form of the verb. That is the structure. For example, if it rained, I would stay home. If I had money, I would buy a car. If she studied more, she would pass the exam. In these kind of conditional sentences, we use would. So many real life situations we have discussed so far with the magical word would, right? So you might have understood how we can use would. So congratulations. Now you know the most important uses of would. Remember one simple rule: would plus base verb, not second form or third form, just would plus base form we use. The more you read, listen, speak, and practice using would, the more natural your English will become. Now it's your turn. Write the sentence using would in the comments below. I will be happy to read your examples. If you found this lesson helpful, please like, share, and subscribe our channel, Binu's English Journey. Don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss our future English lessons. So, anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope we'll catch you soon. Bye bye. See you.